The next question comes from Keith.
Keith! PH.
Who is the father of video games?
Hold on. I got two answers for you. You're welcome. Two answers. First one, I would say, is Alan Alcorn, who developed Pong. So he would be an obvious answer for the father of video games. He made the first one. So he built it.
Well, no. He didn't. First video game was built in the 1960s, before Pong.
It was the astronaut thing, right?
It was in submarines. It was Pong, essentially, but it was not made by.
Oh.
But I'm not trying to step on you at all.
But, the one that made it and made it...
Who publicized it.
Yeah, made it public and did all that stuff. We don't know who made the first calculator, but, you know.
Right?
Abacus.
Boobless.
But anyway, so he kind of introduced the world to it. So I would say him. If you want to go more modern approach, I'd go Shigeru Miyamoto, sorry.
You in Japanese names, man.
You know, Subaru, whatever. Toyota. So he kind of brought Mario and Zelda, which you want a straightforward side-scroller or almost basically an open-world exploration game. He brought both of them. He brought us the Metroid series. I think that was him, right? Was that Miyamoto?
See, that's the thing. Like, I haven't done enough research into specifically his upbringing as to how much he contributed to Metroid.
Right, that would be a good one to think about. But the Mario and Zelda alone basically shaped everything going forward. So I would totally give him props to the newer generation. Maybe the other guy, the Allen guy, was a grandfather, and Miyamoto would be the current father.
Yeah,
but that'd be my take on
it.
Okay. For me, who's the father of video games? Some dude that I'm very thankful for.
Okay. Okay, so I have archetypes for my fathers, okay? We have our cool father, Ken Levine, creator of Bioshock. Right? Because he also worked on System Shock 2. And I respect the man for not even having that as his degree and being able to, create such these inventive worlds. And best wishes, because he's left Irrational Games. So
right,
best wishes. Well, that was a while ago, but still, I want him to succeed. We have your father that maybe is super friendly but gets drunk and is belligerent at parties. Is Shigeru Miyamoto. He's a great guy, right? But man, does he hold your hand all the time? You're like 20, and he's like, "Come on, cross the street." That's him. He may drink a little bit, and then he releases Metroid the other end, or allows it to be released, and there you go.
Don't put that on him.
I'm just saying.
Not put that on him.
And then you have your father that never fucks up, can never do wrong, but just got a divorce. You guys don't want to go with this.
Square Enix.
Hideo Kojima.
Oh.
He never fucks up, but you're like, but your marriage! And then he's like,
you don't think he ever fucks up? You don't think maybe Metal Gear Solid 2 was a little bit of a misstep?
No, I don't. Because they built off of it on 3 and 4. So, and if you're calling 3 and 4 great, at the very least, if it was a misstep, it was just something, a feature or something like that wasn't fully realized. 2 and 3 is just, it's complete opposite from 1. Like, if you look at it, the way you move and things like that, you can tell. But those are my archetypes. As far as the actual father, yeah, if we're being realistic, yeah, Shigeru Miyamoto. He has contributed way too much to not be considered for the role at all. Like, seriously, fuck's the matter with you, Other honorable mentions, Sims creator.
Will Wright.
It's a very creative mind. And for what he's done with what he has to make real life fun, that's a big deal. And it's definitely something that should not be undervalued.
That's true. He did the sim side of things.
I had to throw in another American name.
One Spencer can pronounce.
So like Tom, Will, Ted. Yeah, I can do that.
The next question is actually specifically to Justin from Keith.
Hi, Keith.
Previously, you'd mentioned that you were in the military.
Yes.
What was your job, and was it technology-based?
I was 3112 DMO, Distribution Management Officer. Or official. It never lists the officer. Yeah, my job was pretty much to move people. I dealt with the system. Well, it's one of the jobs. Specifically, I dealt with personal property. My job was just to have people sign up into this new system, and that was online. And then we were to help them work out the kinks of their applications and talk with carriers and coordinate a move date for them. So it was more about public relations than anything. We had to be nice to all the carriers because we're going to need them one day to hook us up. Be friends and all that stuff, whatever. We're like, hey, here's a couple monsters for you guys. Move this guy out of here.
The cost of moving bodies.
But that's pretty much what I did. My job also entailed freight and passenger travel, which is the only real transferable job where you can make big money out the gate because you're a certified passport agent. So you're just making a yiper. You know what I'm saying?
I have a feeling that Spencer and I just learned something. We didn't know this about Justin.
Yeah.
I keep it a secret.
Next question
I was
comes.
also in the Marine Corps, for the record.
Oh, okay.
Some people will ask about that. Marine Corps.
All right.
Stationed at MCAS Myanmar.
Marine Corps Semper Fi.
One shot, one kill. Do or die. Leathernecks. Double dogs.
All right. You want to?
James Kusenza.
All right. He asks, "What are your thoughts on Star Wars Battlefront 3?"
I never really played too much of Battlefront 2. That was Pandemic, if I remember correctly.
And that was a travesty.
Well, no, I played a little bit of them. My friends love those games. So I ended up, through them, just like marijuana. I experienced them a little bit. So those games were
Me and Matt.
good. I think one flaw that they had that I would hope that they would remove going forward is the ability to actually play the Jedi.
I think that's still going to be in there.
I'm sure they will because it's such a novelty, but I think the real rush of that game was not having superpowers and actually be part of like an actual military unit, but in the Star Wars setting. So I would hope that they would stick with that. I've seen some of the footage of the it going forward. It looks nice. I'm excited. I will play it. It's not my number one game.
I don't have any experience with the Star Wars Battlefront series, but I will share a dream I had about this.
I had a dream.
Not that iconic. I had this weird dream where someone was telling me about this new Star Wars game that was coming out. I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to coincide with the movie. And no. But in my dream, that's what was going on. And I was like, yeah, it's just like Battlefield. It's Battlefield Battlefront 3. And I merged the two worlds and the gameplays together in my head. And when I went and saw the trailer, I was like, this isn't what I remember. Because I have this issue of very vivid dreams where I dream something and then it'll be like, in my dream I had a conversation with Spencer. And then I'd be like, oh yeah, hey dude, I ordered that thing for you. And he would be like, okay. And it would just be something.
I like things.
Right.
Yeah. Because it actually is kind of dangerous sometimes because it's like when your girlfriend wakes up and she's mad at you for something you did in your dream because she thinks it's real.
Thanks, honey.
That's actually,
I had a dream that you cheated on me.
I've never had dreams like that.
I would never
where I had to get mad at my boyfriend or anything. That had never happened.
With your boyfriend.
But there are times where Battlefront 3 pops up in my dream.
Okay. Yeah. It looks good so far. I mean, honestly, it said in-game engine, but I would have preferred to just see straight gameplay. I don't care about your in-game engine scripting events that are literally because we don't. You probably know. I didn't really look at all the this and that. I know that there's no space combat. I know they're focusing on the planetary battles, which is good in its own right. But I can tell you right now, that is essentially Battlefield. It will be I mean, it's being made by DICE, if I remember correctly, right?
I think so.
And the whole thing about they're going to have obviously the hero units. So League of Legends.
So wait,
in the sense of someone's going to be able to pilot the Millennium Falcon. Someone maybe if you're on Kashyyyk is going to be Chewie.
So my dream wasn't wrong. There are correlations,
Probably.
but not publicly. It's just it's wow.
Yeah. Look at you, freaking Kenshi. Blind Swords. Check out a review for that later. So yeah, it looks good, but I want to see more before I'm yes, I'm going to pre-order that. Because I don't care what you just showed me. They had a pre-order thing at the end of it. I don't fucking care. I'm not going to pre-order it yet. I want to make sure you guys are doing it justice.
Right.
Okay? Because I loved the Battlefront series.
All right. Next question comes from Shadow Roos 3
Hi!
or Shadow Rose 3. Either ways. He, she, I don't know. It could go either way. If you were to make a video game, what genre would you pick?
RPG.
Action adventure with an emphasis, with a lack of storytelling, purposely. Mr. Miyazaki, man. Miyazaki, game design, Soul Series.
Real-time strategy RPG, console-based RPG. It's a very, very
So
specific,
action RPG.
very specific.
Kingdom Hearts. Yeah,
thing.
right.
What company would you develop this game for?
Oh,
So this would be, we're picking a publisher?
yeah. Well, pick both. Just do it.
Yeah.
Publisher and developer?
Yeah.
Skip me.
Camelot for developer.
Good idea. Oh, sorry.
And then publisher, whoever's not an asshole about charging people. I would not charge DLC. It would all be free.
Okay. So when we wake up, developer, I still like Capcom no matter what. I respect them enough because they have some of my favorite franchises. So I probably want it to be developed by Capcom. As far as publisher goes, if someone felt that they'd want to make it enough of an exclusive, I could go either way, even Nintendo. I don't care. But if I were to be really specific, it would probably be Valve. Because they know how to make shit work.
I do.
I'd probably say them. Or if I could work with Kojima, if I could work with, well, Kojima. Anywhere he's
Two
at,
of them.
I would. Or anywhere he said is a good publisher. I'd be like, yes, I agree, sir.
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to go with a really weird combo. And also I'm going to look like an asshole. With the developer, I would pick as level 5.
Of course you would.
But, and they're the people I said I was most disappointed with. But, the publisher would be Rockstar.
You know what? They don't miss. You're right. They don't.
They would say, level 5 would be like, we want to make a cool game like this, and then Rockstar would be like, that's the fucking stupidest idea I've ever seen.
Right. No,
why don't you try to make money? And they'll be like, alright, do this.
You need more drugs. You need more hoes.
Make this the biggest game you've ever fucking made, and they would do it, and it would be freaking awesome. And it'd be anime style, which I'm not an anime fan, but they make really good cartoony visuals, level 5 does.
So, building off of that, what gaming elements would you have in place in the game?
It would have a lot of D&D style, it'd be turn-based combat.
Okay.
More like Chrono Trigger-esque, so lack of random battles. Battles take place right on the screen. There's no transforming. What's that?
Chrono Cross. Same thing.
Chrono Cross has a completely different battle system.
Well, I mean in the sense of the random battle.
But actually, you could take either one of those. As long as the battle system is turn-based and deep and good, then I would love it. So just make it good.
Why don't you play Lost Odyssey?
Get out of here. So, and then the outside part of that would be that it would have the KOTOR D&D style, like dialogue options where you can go different ways and have different stuff like that.
100-hour game, dude.
And then make it huge like a Grand Theft Auto game. If Grand Theft Auto is like a turn-based medieval RPG type of thing, oh my god, not like Skyrim.
For me, like gaming elements, I really like customizing and building my army in my RPGs. If you've played Tactics Ogre Knights of Lotus for the Game Boy Advance, that game you could hire soldiers and you would hire them as male or female. And then as you build them up, you can then change if they're a different class or different things. So you could have an army of your main character and then 9 clerics. Like if you really wanted to build that to where basically no one dies. You could have an army of ninjas. Like you had that ability to customize. The difficult part of it that I would want to incorporate is that each person would have their own individuality that you hire, so that you actually feel like they're part of your story. And depending on the people you have in your party, much like RPGs usually go, it would change how the story plays out. So if you have like half a cast of kind of like Fire Emblem, how relationships start building as you fight together with people. As they're side by side, they build relationships and become stronger if they're
Sexual
next to
tension.
each other. They have marriages, they have children, and all that kind of stuff. I think the customization of Tactics Ogre Knights of Lotus plus the relationship system from Fire Emblem, plus the if you also add in a turn-based battle system like Beyond the Beyond from Camelot, or even Legends of Dragoon. They're how you can critical hit, but more so in the sense of like Final Fantasy 7 or 8, where it was just like you could activate the gunblade, but it wouldn't be like a screen of like click this, click this. It would just be something you could do if you timed it right.
Devil May Cry 2D.
Devil May Cry 2D?
2D Devil May Cry, which there actually is one. It's called Dishwasher. Dead Samurai. It's a great game. So 2D Devil May Cry with a narrative. So, or it could be 3D Devil May Cry with
a narrative.
Fucked up, but with the narrative and with like 2 other party members, for instance.
Interesting.
So, adding on to that, what are some of your favorite weapons in video games?
BFG.
Big fucking gun?
No. Big flipping.
Oh.
They're children.
God.
They're ladies' present.
The ultimate weapon from Final Fantasy 7. It looks like shit, but death penalty from Final Fantasy 7. Vincent's weapon. Even though, according to my brother, he's a shit character, I still love him. Shit. Devil May Cry. We can use Rebellion. We can use Alistair. We can use Ifrit, Cerberus, Sparta. Any of the weapons for Devil May Cry. Ebony and Ivory. It's pretty neat.
Spencer?
I've got.
Oh, you know what? Sorry. One last one. Fucking yes. The scythe from Bloodborne. The trick weapon scythe. I forget the actual name of it. Sick as shit ever, man. Just whip that shit out and slash motherfuckers. You don't even know.
That is a really tough question that I never really thought of. Because I'm not huge into games with a lot of weapons. Most of them are just swords and shit. I will say that I've had an affinity for Cloud's Buster sword. I always liked that. I thought it was kind of cool. I hate the stupid Keyblade thingy. And the game shit. The other thing is, I guess I would say there's a game called Oddworld.
Abe's Odyssey?
Abe's
Stranger's Wrath. I think it was Stranger's Wrath.
Yeah.
That you actually had animals that you had to collect as weapons, and you'd put them in like a bow and arrow and shoot it, or like put it in like a shotgun and blow up stuff with like actual live ammo. It was called. That was really fun. I actually really enjoyed that game. League of Legends has a lot of really interesting weapons. One of the characters is supposed to be like, has a big shield, but it's actually a door. Rips a door off something and just holds it up and like does stuff with it. So League of Legends has some creative weapons, and a teddy bear is one of the weapons, I guess. But yeah, I mean, there's some fun weapons there. But otherwise, I don't have a lot of input on this one.
For my own personal use, if like I was actually like playing a game, and what I would want to run around with is a giant ass 2-handed sword to cleave people in half with.
Berserk.
But from a gameplay perspective, and from what I see in video games being fun and entertaining and creative, just take the Ratchet and Clank series.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, them with what's it called too? Resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah, they took that and ran that into Resistance. All the weapons in Resistance are incredibly creative. There's a tracer gun. You can put the tracer on, shoots around corners. Sick as shit. Or the auger. Huh?
You have to pay per turn.
Luckily, it's free. The auger puts up a shield and you can shoot through it, but they can't shoot you. Fucking sick.
Wow.
Honorable mentions, I totally forgot about these. Legend of Zelda, the Master Sword, you knew shit was about to get real. Not necessarily from a gameplay standpoint, but from a story perspective, that was a big-ass weapon to do. And the hookshot was always my favorite from that series. And then I think there's Metal Gear Solid had the Nikita missile, which was a lot of fun to play around with.
Expensive.
Very expensive. And I will say as well, one thing we probably shouldn't forget is Borderlands has a lot of fun weapons to play around with, just kind of customized.
Next. I'm sorry, go ahead.
The fucking the last two, the gravity gun and the fucking portal gun. You can forget that.
Portal gun, yeah, that was a lot of fun. Next question is from Shadow Ruse 3 is favorite video game protagonist and antagonist. Give me one for each. Mm-hmm. Spencer, can you answer that right now?
No. I got one, but I don't have the other.
I've never played it, which sucks. Far Cry 3. Definition of insanity. Forget his name. Great antagonist. Very good. The best thing about antagonists are where they shine is when they challenge the main character.
Mm-hmm.
If they're ahead of you, and it shows, narratively speaking, they are very good antagonists. Why do you think people like Joker so much?
Damn it.
Well,
That's what I was going to say.
He's not in the game.
Well, he's in Injustice and Batman games and all that kind of stuff. I know it's kind of crossing the line, but I don't have a better experience with the protagonist and antagonist such as Batman and Joker.
Protagonist, I think Big Boss is a better protagonist than Solid Snake is. As far as how he's compromised, more so than Solid Snake. Solid Snake's always like, oh, I gotta do good, right? Big Boss is like, fuck!
Solid Snake wasn't totally like that.
He wasn't totally good, but he was way more good than Big Boss was. I mean, Big Boss, hey, Child Soldier seemed like a good idea. You know? Stuff like that. He's way more compromised, way more vulnerable. You don't want a protagonist that just... Joel's a good one, too. Okay, because they're compromised. They're fucked up, but they're functional. You know, you don't want Dante. Dante slaughters demons and it's like, ha, you thought, you know?
Yeah.
Whoever his villain is, you know, fucking cares.
That's an awesome point. I think Joel, I will say, is my favorite protagonist. I think, he's just got so much. The problem is that a lot of the games I play have silent protagonists. So how can I say that they're awesome protagonists if they don't say a freaking word? So I'll completely remove Chrono and all those people from it.
Could you remove Revan, though?
Yeah, I will. I will. Just because I don't think he has a straight story. It's hard to say he has a straight story. He has an overarching idea.
Well, if you the comics.
No, I don't read the comics. Anyway.
If you look up the wiki.
Yeah. So, and then as far as antagonists, I will say Revolver Ocelot is my personal favorite antagonist. He is such a... If you want character growth, from all the way from 3 all the way up, he is so much fun to just watch.
From orgasming,
reloading. Oh, yeah. So that's all I'll say.
Next question is best video game to movie transition. What best video game then made its move to...
Oh, which one already has done it and done it well?
Street Fighter, the movie, the game. Fuck no.
Those are all terrible.
Max Payne. Okay, if we're gonna put these in hierarchy, Mortal Kombat, most people say was the best. Okay, which is technically my choice. We watch it on Laserdisc. You'll see what I'm saying.
Who has lasers?
I still have my Laserdisc. It's the joke. But if we were to speak like specifically, Max Payne, I didn't think was terrible. I liked Mark Wahlberg. I liked Mila Kunis. They just should have done more. The analogies were great. Like angels were carrying them off, or dark angels were carrying them off when they died. That was cool. It was very inventive. But they should have kept running in that direction.
My experience with this is so limited. I've seen the Mario movie, and it was absolutely awful.
God.
I've seen bits of Tomb Raider, and that was absolutely awful.
It was terrible.
I've seen bits of, I don't know, some other crap, and it was all terrible. So I will say a movie that I would want to watch the most
Resident Evil. First one wasn't that bad. First Resident Evil.
Would probably be the Persona animes. Granted, I'm not a huge fan of anime, but I at least enjoy the series, so I'd be curious to see what they do with it in an actual anime environment. So that's what I'll say is what I'd want to watch the most.
Oh, Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, was fucking amazing. That's my answer. Or Street Fighter the animated movie, whichever they call it.
As far as what's already been transitioned, That's such a hard question because you're right, Spencer. There's not very much out there. Mortal Kombat is what I was going to say because it was the highest of tolerable to me. There were some holes and gaps in it that were frustrating, but I think if I don't watch it again today, I think I can still appreciate and love it.
Watch it again today. It's not that bad.
Okay.
Fucking-
I don't
are
know
you
if
kidding
I don't know if I want to take that chance.
Reptile front flips, drop kicks, Liu Kang. Oh! Me and my brother in the theaters got hyped, and we didn't even know what hype was back then. It was like, what? You know, shit was crazy.
Next question: which video game crossover would you most want to see?
I think Project X Zone does a good job of doing a huge crossover of everything. You heard that?
No.
It's like you got fucking Namco, you got Sega, you got Capcom, all these random, like, everybody is in that game. It's great. I love Akira Yui, you know, fighting with Dante to beat Morgan. It's great, you know? God! But as far as crossovers go, I actually really like the Marvel series, Marvel vs. Capcom series, because it's a great blend. It just sucks what happened to the game itself. But when you see the characters come in, and maybe Strider is fighting with Wolverine, and they have a little quip before they fight, that shit's hot, man. It's just fire.
I have a different take on that. I've been playing a lot of these a different kind of crossover, which means which are the like Persona Q, where they have Persona meets Etrian Odyssey, and I see it as actual like brand crossovers, not necessarily like characters from different worlds, you know, commingling. So I would actually like to see Dragon Quest meets BioWare, basically like a Dragon Age, but using Dragon Quest characters and having them go through the adventure. So kind of like an anime-ish Akira Toriyama D&D game.
That would be nice.
That would be a lot of
like
fun.
Dragon. Well, you have to specify Dragon Quest 1, Dragon
Quest-
Age 1 or Dragon Age 3.
It would be the Dragon Quest 8, basically looking next gen, but looking like that, using like Dragon Age 1 style.
Yeah,
But
like
don't
real actual.
really use KOTOR style.
Have you played?
Really use
First
KOTOR.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
didn't
It
love
was good.
I didn't love it. I like KOTOR, so make it more like KOTOR, but I'm just trying to be, because obviously they're not going to go into Star Wars territory.
Yeah.
So-
well, that'd be weird. But
I actually am having a very hard time with this. Simply put, because I like universes being separate. I don't want to see Hulk versus Superman.
it's so boring.
Yeah, like, I don't want to see Invincible versus Invincible. I don't want to see silent protagonists from Shining Force versus Fire Emblem. Like, I don't want to see that kind of thing.
Hey, Ike fights for his fucking friends. No one gets that shit. That's okay.
Did you say that in one of the things? I fight for my friends.
But like it's a very difficult question for me to answer because I do appreciate the separation of worlds, and I know that once you start introducing other things, it starts breaking the worlds around. Because actually, my brother introduced me to this website where it rates power levels,
Oh god, that's so stupid.
and they
According
basically
to us,
it's that whole deathmatch thing where they go if Superman fought Goku, and they do that whole
Goku
thing.
win.
They go based off the power levels and the abilities and yada yada yada. Kirby beats everybody.
Really?
His power level is I absorb anything. I have no limit to what I can absorb.
Okay, then Ditto beats everything. Fuck off.
Yeah, no, because he can just match everybody's power. He can't exceed it.
Well, it doesn't matter. It becomes a matter of skill. That's it. Hey. And
The point is the whole thing is irrelevant. The whole thing.
Yeah, I haven't.
it turns into freaking Nerd Battles
Yeah,
2.0.
but if I had to say, I'd like to see what a game I'll answer this. A game I do want to see. I want to see the Under the Red Hood Batman series. I want to see that in a video game where Batman's old retired done and the Red Hood or that character, I won't ruin who's who, takes over the mantle and continues on. Like, I would really like to see a progression of the story, and kind of the same with Naruto. Like, I want to see what's like the next generation or Heroes. I want to see the next generation of how the environment grows after that. I can't say I want to see a crossover between anything. And finally, the last question from Living Vapor.
Oh, okay.
What is the meaning of life?
Oh.
Your interpretation.
This is going to be a real struggle because it's you got different viewpoints about the world. I think spirituality kind of steps in, but I will give a completely scientific response that is cold and calculated. And I will say the meaning of life is to procreate and pass on strong genes. Go ahead.
Then people fail the meaning of life.
You're designed to fail it.
Daily.
You're designed to.
Hey, I don't know.
You're
My
designed.
parents can't succeed.
All I'm saying is, if you've got one gene that's passable, then 99% of what you do is gonna be washed away, which is my opinion on how it works. But anyway, go ahead.
For me, the way that I've always looked at this question, I find it to be destructive. I believe it's a destructive question. The fact that humans will get together and discuss humanism and humanity and what's our purpose and all that stuff, we miss out on experiencing life in the moment. And because you don't see a dog getting together with a bunch of other dogs talking about dogisms, or goldfish convening and talking about how to be a goldfish. The question is, we're asking ourselves, how do we be a human? You just are.
To be or not to be. Yeah.
It's a joke. There's no meaning in life.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Because we as humans desire meaning. When sometimes there isn't meaning.
All right.
Oh. All right, so here it comes down to...
The only part you guys cared about in the video.
All right, mixaroo.
All right, guys. Thank you for checking out our Q&A video.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And
we do videos
every
week!
You guys need to get louder.
Sorry.
We also stream on This Is CK.
Sorry. There's just so many names. We do new videos every week.
Just start crumpling them up.
Twitch.tv/thisisttheitch. And thank you for the 100 subscribers. That's actually what spurred us to do this video.
Absolutely.
And someone grab one.
It is Dead Serenity. You can't even read it. Dead Serenity 95.
Woo!
Yep.
Thank you.
And thank you for everyone else. Be sure to get in contact with us. Let us know.
I will be messaging you to make sure you get what you want. Thank you for watching, everybody. It's been a fun time.
See you next time.